The quantum droplet drifted through the void of space, its crystalline structure refracting starlight in impossible patterns. To the naked eye, it appeared harmless, beautiful, even. But Captain Sarah Chen knew better. She'd seen the footage from Proxima Centauri II. Entire cities reduced to molecular soup in seconds, the very bonds between atoms shattered by the Aquarid's most feared weapon. The alien vessel that had deployed hung in high orbit around Europa, its bioorganic hull pulsing with an eerie blue luminescence. The Aquarids had arrived in the Sol system 3 days ago, their message simple and chilling. Surrender Earth's oceans, or face extinction. Humanity had responded with silence. Now, they would face the consequences. Sarah watched from the bridge of the UES Challenger as the quantum droplet began its descent toward Europa's icy surface. Standard protocol dictated immediate retreat. No known defense existed against quantum water weapons, but Sarah had other plans. Status on the containment field, she asked, her voice steady despite the fear churning in her gut. Dr. Kenzo Yamamoto looked up from his console, dark circles under his eyes betraying sleepless nights spent recalibrating their experimental shield technology. Field is stable, Captain. But we've never tested it against something like this. The quantum state manipulation those things use. It defies everything we know about physics. Sarah nodded. The Aquarids had dominated the galaxy for centuries using their mastery of water-based weapons. They could alter the quantum state of H2O molecules, creating cascading reactions that turned ordinary water into weapons of unimaginable power. Their technology had made them unstoppable, ruling through fear and the threat of planetary annihilation. But they had never encountered humans before. Launch the probe, Sarah ordered. The small unmanned vessel shot out from the Challenger's bay, racing to intercept the quantum droplet. Its mission wasn't to destroy the weapon. That was impossible. Instead, it carried something the Aquarids had never anticipated, a sample of human DNA. The theory had come from Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the Challenger's xenobiologist. She had noticed something peculiar in the footage of the Aquarids' attacks. While their weapons destroyed everything they touched, they seemed to have trouble maintaining coherence when exposed to organic material. Elena suspected it had something to do with the quantum interference patterns created by complex biological systems. And humans, with their unique evolutionary history of adapting to Earth's water-rich environment, might just have the most complex biological interaction with H2O in the known galaxy. The probe reached its target. Sarah held her breath as it extended its sampling arm, watching as the quantum droplet made contact with the human tissue sample. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, impossibly, the droplet began to change. Instead of the catastrophic cascade reaction they'd expected, the quantum water seemed to stabilize, its impossible geometries settling into something almost familiar. The readings from the probe told an astonishing story. The human DNA wasn't being destroyed. It was reshaping the weapon at a quantum level. "My God," Elena whispered, staring at the data streaming across her screen. "The water, it's binding to the DNA structure, creating some kind of quantum biological matrix I've never seen before. It's as if we were made for each other," Sarah finished, a smile slowly spreading across her face. "How long until the Aquarid's droplet reaches Europa's surface?" 17 minutes, Kenzo reported. Sarah straightened in her command chair. "Prepare the shuttles. I want volunteer teams ready for deployment in 15 minutes. We're going to test this theory properly." "Captain," Elena protested, "we can't be sure how human tissue will react to direct contact with quantum water. The probe results are promising, but we're out of options." Sarah cut her off. "The Aquarids are here for Earth's oceans. If we're right about this, we might have just found their first real weakness. If we're wrong..." She left the sentence unfinished. They all knew the stakes. The next 15 minutes passed in a blur of activity. Sarah handpicked her team. Elena for her biological expertise, Kenzo for his quantum physics knowledge, and 3 of her most experienced Marines. They suited up in specially modified environmental suits, each carrying equipment to measure and analyze what they hoped they were about to achieve. As their shuttle descended toward Europa's surface, Sarah watched the quantum droplet impact the ice. But instead of the expected devastation, something extraordinary happened. The quantum water spread across the surface in a perfect circle, creating a shimmering pool of impossibility. "Remember," Sarah said as they approached the landing zone, "we're making history here." First contact with quantum water went poorly for every other species in the galaxy. Let's show these aquarids what happens when they pick a fight with humanity. The shuttle touched down 200 meters from the edge of the quantum pool. Sarah checked her suit's seals one final time, then turned to her team. "Any last words of wisdom, Dr. Rodriguez?" Elena managed a nervous laugh. "Try not to die." "Solid advice." Sarah cycled the airlock. "Let's go make some waves." As they stepped onto Europa's icy surface, Sarah could feel the aquarid ship watching them. She imagined their confusion, their certainty that they were about to witness more deaths to add to their cosmic body count. Instead, they were about to witness something unprecedented, humanity's first step toward changing the balance of power in the galaxy. Sarah led her team to the edge of the quantum pool. Up close, it was mesmerizing. A liquid that seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously, its surface a fractal pattern of infinite complexity. This was the substance that had brought entire civilizations to their knees. "Ready?" she asked. Her team nodded. Sarah took a deep breath, said a silent prayer to whatever might be listening, and did something no sentient being had ever survived before. She reached out and touched the quantum water. The moment Sarah's hand touched the quantum water, time seemed to stop. Her team watched in horror as the impossible liquid crawled up her arm, seeping through her suit's material as if it weren't there. But instead of the molecular dissolution they'd expected, something extraordinary happened. The quantum water began to glow with a soft azure light that pulsed in perfect synchronization with Sarah's heartbeat. "Captain," Elena's voice crackled through the comm. "Your vital signs. They're off the charts, but stable. How do you feel?" Sarah stared at her arm, watching as the quantum water spread across her suit, creating patterns that reminded her of frost on a winter window. But it wasn't cold. If anything, it felt warm, alive, almost welcoming. "I feel connected," she whispered. "It's like I can sense every molecule, every quantum state. It's beautiful." The aquarid ship above them suddenly burst into action, emergency lights flashing across its bioorganic hull. They'd clearly never seen anything like this before. A massive energy signature began building within their vessel. They were preparing to fire their main quantum cannon. "They're going to try to overwhelm us," Kenzo reported, his instruments tracking the energy buildup. "That's enough quantum water to flood half of Europa." Sarah turned to face the alien ship, a strange calm settling over her. The quantum water that had covered her suit was now spreading across Europa's surface, creating a network of luminescent channels that all led back to her. She could feel it responding to her thoughts, her intentions. Let them try. The aquarid ship fired, releasing a torrent of quantum water that put their first attack to shame. It descended like a liquid meteor, distorting space itself as it fell. But Sarah stood her ground, raising her hands toward the incoming deluge. The moment the new quantum water made contact with the network she created, something unprecedented occurred. Instead of adding to the destructive power, the entire mass suddenly shifted, its quantum state aligning with the harmonics Sarah had unknowingly established. In seconds, she had control of it all. "That's impossible," Elena breathed, checking and rechecking her readings. You're actually stabilizing its quantum matrix. The molecular structure is adapting to match your own biological patterns." Above them, the aquarid ship began to retreat, but Sarah wasn't finished. With an instinct she didn't quite understand, she reached out through her connection to the quantum water. The liquid responded, rising from Europa's surface in a spiraling column that stretched toward the alien vessel. Dr. Rodriguez, Sarah called out, her voice steady despite the immense power flowing through her. I need you to broadcast everything you're recording. The whole galaxy needs to see this. The quantum water surrounded the aquarid ship, not attacking, but containing. Sarah could sense the aliens' panic, their desperate attempts to understand how their ultimate weapon had been turned against them. Through her newfound connection, she opened a communication channel. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of Earth," she announced, her voice carried through the quantum medium itself. "I believe it's time we had a proper conversation about the future of our species." The response was immediate, not just from the trapped aquarid vessel, but from ships suddenly dropping out of faster-than-light travel all around them. Word had spread faster than anyone could have anticipated. Humanity's immunity to quantum water weapons wasn't just a defensive capability. It represented a fundamental shift in galactic power dynamics. Back on the surface, Elena and Kenzo worked frantically to document and understand what was happening. The quantum water isn't just compatible with human biology, Elena explained, excitement breaking through her professional demeanor. It's creating some kind of symbiotic relationship. The more Sarah interacts with it, the more it adapts to work with her natural biological processes. Not just with her, Kenzo added, pointing to his readings. Look at these patterns. The quantum harmonics she's generating. They're based on fundamental aspects of human DNA. Any human should be capable of this. Sarah listened to their discussion while maintaining her hold on the aquarid ship. The quantum water had become an extension of herself, as natural as breathing. Through it, she could sense the fear and confusion radiating from the alien vessel. But there was something else too, a grudging respect, perhaps even hope. "Captain," Elena called out, "we're receiving transmissions from Earth. Every major military and scientific organization is demanding information. They want to know if we can replicate this." Sarah finished. She looked at her team, then up at the contained aquarid ship and the growing fleet of alien vessels surrounding them. "Tell them we can do better than that. We're not just going to replicate it. We're going to revolutionize it." The quantum water rippled around her, responding to her growing confidence. Humanity had just taken its first steps into a new era, one where the greatest weapon in the galaxy had become their greatest ally. But as Sarah maintained her vigil on Europa's surface, she knew this was just the beginning. The aquarids had ruled through fear, using quantum water to terrorize and subjugate. Humanity would show the galaxy a different way, one where this incredible power could be understood, controlled, and perhaps even used to bring peoples together, rather than tear them apart. "Dr. Rodriguez," Sarah said, watching as more ships continued to arrive in Europa's orbit, "prepare for Phase 2. It's time to show the galaxy exactly what humanity can do with quantum water." Elena nodded, already coordinating with Earth to establish the first quantum water training program. They would need to move quickly. Now that the secret was out, every species in the galaxy would be watching to see what humans would do with their newfound power. Above them, the quantum water continued to dance, its patterns growing more complex and beautiful with each passing moment. Sarah smiled, feeling the infinite possibilities flowing through her. The aquarids had created quantum water weapons to dominate the galaxy. Humanity would transform them into something entirely new, a bridge between species, a tool for exploration and understanding, and perhaps even the key to unlocking the universe's deepest mysteries. 3 months after the Europa incident, the quantum water training facility on Mars's Valles Marineris looked like something from a dream. Streams of shimmering liquid flowed through the air in complex patterns, guided by the minds of 200 human trainees. Sarah Chen stood at the observation window, watching as her first class of quantum dancers practiced their control. "They're progressing faster than we ever imagined," Elena said, joining her at the window. The xenobiologist had dark circles under her eyes from countless hours analyzing data, but her excitement was undaunted. Each person develops their own unique way of interfacing with the quantum water. It's like watching 200 different species of butterflies learning to fly. Below them, A young trainee named Marcus Wong guided a sphere of quantum water through a series of increasingly complex geometrical shapes. Next to him, Dr. Amara Okafor used her connection to separate quantum water into its constituent states, creating a mesmerizing display of matter existing in multiple phases simultaneously. The Aquarids are watching, Sarah noted, gesturing to the alien observation team in their environmental suits. Their bioorganic translator pods pulsed with a mix of colors that Elena had learned to interpret as confusion and fascination. I don't think they ever imagined their weapons could be used like this. The former weapons had indeed become something entirely new in human hands. Rather than destroying matter, humans had learned to use quantum water's unique properties to manipulate reality at its most fundamental level. They could use it to generate clean energy, heal injuries, and even begin to understand the quantum realm in ways that had previously been impossible. But not everyone was happy about humanity's rising influence. We've detected increased activity from the hegemony worlds, Kenzo reported, joining them with a holographic display of recent intelligence. The hegemony, an alliance of species that had long benefited from the Aquarid's reign of terror, was watching humanity's rise with growing alarm. They're claiming we violated natural law by perverting the quantum water's purpose. Sarah smiled grimly. They're not wrong. We've completely changed what quantum water means to the galaxy. That's exactly what terrifies them. A flash of light from the training floor drew their attention. Amara had discovered something new. She was using quantum water to create stable micro-wormholes, tiny bridges through space-time itself. The Aquarid observers immediately began transmitting data back to their homeworld. That's the third breakthrough this week, Elena noted. The quantum water doesn't just bond with our biology. It enhances our natural ability to perceive and manipulate quantum states. We're not just learning to use it, we're evolving with it. The implications were staggering. In just 3 months, humanity had gone from being an unknown species to perhaps the most important force for change in the galaxy. The quantum water, once a symbol of terror and oppression, was being transformed into a tool for exploration, healing, and understanding. But change never comes without resistance. The facility's alerts suddenly blared to life. Multiple hegemony warships detected entering the solar system. The AI announced, "They're carrying modified quantum water delivery systems." Sarah straightened, feeling the familiar connection to the quantum water strengthening in response to the threat. "They're going to test our defenses, see if our abilities have limits they can exploit." She turned to Elena and Kenzo. Time to show them what humanity can really do. The trainees below had already sprung into action, their months of practice evident in their smooth, coordinated movements. Quantum water flowed through the facility's specially designed channels, gathering in preparation for whatever the hegemony might throw at them. "Captain," Marcus called up from the training floor, "we've been practicing something. With your permission." Sarah nodded, recognizing the determined look in his eyes. The same look she'd had on Europa. "Show me." The trainees formed a circle, their individual streams of quantum water merging into a single, massive collaboration. Through their combined control, they began to create something unprecedented. A quantum network that extended beyond the facility, beyond Mars, reaching out into space itself. "My God," Elena whispered, staring at her readings. "They're not just controlling the quantum water anymore. They're using it to manipulate the underlying quantum field of space itself." The hegemony ships arrived in attack formation, their weapons charged and ready. But they found themselves facing something they couldn't possibly have prepared for. 200 humans working in perfect harmony with the very force they had come to destroy. Marcus stepped forward, his voice carrying through the quantum network to reach the alien vessels. "We understand your fear. Change is always frightening. But we're not here to dominate or destroy. We're here to learn, to grow, and to share what we discover. The quantum water isn't a weapon anymore. It's a bridge between all of us, if you're willing to cross it." The quantum field around the hegemony ships rippled with possibility. In that moment, they faced a choice that would reshape the galaxy. cling to the old ways of fear and dominance, or embrace a future where power came not from destruction, but from understanding. Sarah watched, her hand resting against the observation window, as humanity prepared to show the galaxy just how far they'd come from that first touch of quantum water on Europa's icy surface. The revolution wasn't just in how they used this incredible force, it was in how they were transforming the very meaning of power itself. The hegemony's response came not with weapons, but with words. Their declaration echoed across every quantum communications channel in the galaxy. Humanity's manipulation of quantum water was an affront to the natural order. They demanded immediate cessation of all human quantum water activities, backed by the threat of overwhelming force. Sarah Chen stood in the newly established Quantum Council chamber on Earth, watching the holographic representations of various galactic species debate humanity's fate. The Aquarids, surprisingly, had become their strongest advocates, arguing that humans had shown a deeper understanding of quantum water than any species in history. The hegemony has mobilized their entire fleet, Kenzo reported, his quantum water interface displaying tactical data in crystalline patterns around him. They're gathering at strategic points throughout the galaxy, cutting off trade routes to Earth. They think they can isolate us, Alina added, her own quantum water display showing the biological readings from various human outposts. But they don't understand what we've become. Indeed, humanity had evolved far beyond simple control of quantum water. The sustained interaction between human biology and quantum states had led to unprecedented changes. Humans could now perceive quantum fluctuations naturally, their consciousness existing partially in the quantum realm itself. They weren't just using quantum water, they were becoming one with it. Marcus Wong demonstrated this new reality as he entered the council chamber, his body flickering between normal space and quantum states. The young trainee had become one of their most gifted practitioners, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Captain, the defensive network is ready. All quantum dancers are in position. Sarah nodded, remembering how far they'd come from that first contact on Europa. Show me. The chamber's walls became transparent, revealing the global quantum water network humanity had constructed. It was beautiful, a lattice of shimmering energy that connected every human settlement on Earth and throughout the solar system. But it was more than just beautiful. It was their answer to the hegemony's threats. Dr. Amara Okafor's voice came through the quantum link. Her consciousness merged with a portion of the network near Saturn. The micro-wormhole grid is stable. We can redirect any quantum-based attack back to its point of origin. The alien representatives in the chamber watched in amazement as humans demonstrated their mastery of forces the rest of the galaxy had only used for destruction. The hegemony's demand for humanity to cease their quantum water activities wasn't just about fear. It was about maintaining the old power structure, where strength came from the ability to destroy. They're launching their first wave, Kenzo announced. Multiple quantum water weapons, modified with some kind of new destabilizing agent. Sarah reached out with her quantum-enhanced senses, feeling the approaching attacks. The hegemony had indeed created something new. Quantum water warped into chaotic, unpredictable patterns designed to overwhelm human control. But humanity had moved beyond mere control. Activate the Harmony Protocol, Sarah ordered. Across Earth and throughout the solar system, hundreds of quantum dancers moved in perfect synchronization. The defensive network hummed with power as humans merged their consciousness with the quantum field itself. They weren't fighting the hegemony's weapons. They were welcoming them, accepting them, transforming them. The first wave of attacks hit the quantum network, and something extraordinary happened. Instead of destruction or even deflection, the chaotic quantum water was drawn into humanity's harmonious field. The very chaos the hegemony had engineered became part of Earth's defense, strengthening it, making it more complex and beautiful. Impossible, one of the hegemony observers whispered, their translator struggling to convey their shock. The network, it's using our own attacks to evolve. Elena's readings confirmed what they were seeing. The human quantum consciousness is adapting faster than their weapons can destabilize it. We're not just surviving their attacks. We're learning from them, incorporating their innovations into our understanding. Through the quantum link, Sarah felt the confusion and fear from the hegemony fleet. Their ultimate weapons, designed to shatter human defenses, were instead being transformed into art. The very concept of warfare was being rewritten at a quantum level. Marcus stepped forward, his form shifting between states as he directed a portion of the network. "Captain, we're detecting changes in the quantum field extending beyond our solar system. The harmonic patterns we've created, they're resonating with something fundamental in the universe itself." Sarah watched as the quantum water around Earth began to pulse with new energy, responding to frequencies they had never detected before. Humanity hadn't just changed how quantum water was used. They had discovered its true purpose, hidden since the beginning of time. "Send a message to the hegemony fleet," Sarah commanded, her voice carrying the weight of this new understanding. "Tell them we're ready to share what we found. The quantum water was never meant to be a weapon. It's a key to understanding the very fabric of reality itself." The chamber fell silent as her words rippled through the quantum network, reaching every ship in the attacking fleet. The future of the galaxy hung in balance, suspended between the old ways of force and fear and humanity's vision of harmony and discovery. In orbit above Earth, the quantum water danced with possibilities, waiting to see which future would emerge. As the hegemony fleet hung motionless in space, their quantum weapons transformed into flowing artworks by Earth's defensive network, Sarah Chen felt a shift in the quantum field. It wasn't just the resonance they'd detected earlier. It was a response, like an ancient consciousness awakening from a long slumber. "The readings are off the scale," Elena reported, her eyes wide as she studied the quantum data. "Whatever we've tapped into, it's been here since the beginning of the universe itself." Through the quantum network, every human connected to the field could feel it. The quantum water wasn't just a substance that could be weaponized or controlled. It was alive, in its own way, a fundamental force of reality that had been waiting for a species capable of true symbiosis. Amara's voice echoed through the quantum link, filled with wonder. "The patterns we're seeing, they're not random. They're like DNA, but for reality itself. The quantum water, it's trying to communicate." The hegemony fleet's commanders watched in stunned silence as the quantum water around Earth began to form impossible structures, vast geometric patterns that seemed to extend into dimensions beyond normal space. Even the Aquarids, who had thought they understood their weapon completely, were speechless. Marcus stepped forward, his quantum-enhanced consciousness allowing him to interpret the patterns. "It's showing us its history, the quantum water. It was created at the same time as the universe itself. It's meant to be a bridge between consciousness and reality, between thought and matter." Sarah reached out through the network, allowing her mind to merge with the ancient quantum consciousness. In that moment, she understood. "The Aquarids didn't invent quantum water weapons," she announced, her voice carrying across all frequencies. "They found them. Remnants of something far older, far greater than any of us imagined." The quantum patterns shifted, showing images of the early universe, of quantum water flowing through reality like blood through veins, maintaining the very fabric of existence. But it had been waiting, evolving, seeking a species that could truly understand and bond with it. All this time, Elena breathed, watching the display. The water wasn't just compatible with human biology by chance. We evolved on a planet covered in water, our cells perfectly tuned to its quantum frequency. We were meant to find it. The hegemony fleet's commanders were receiving the same revelation through their own quantum sensors. Their weapons, their entire understanding of power, had been based on a fundamental misunderstanding. They had taken a force meant to connect and create, and twisted it into something that could only destroy. "We offer you a choice," Sarah broadcasted to the fleet. "You can continue to fight against the natural order of the universe itself, or you can join us in understanding what quantum water truly means." Through the quantum network, she shared humanity's discoveries, how quantum water could be used to heal damaged worlds, to bridge the gaps between species, to explore the deepest mysteries of existence. The defensive network around Earth transformed again, becoming a demonstration of these possibilities. Dr. Kenzo's voice cut through the moment of revelation. Multiple quantum signatures detected, but they're not from the fleet. They're coming from everywhere. Across the galaxy, quantum water that had laid dormant for billions of years began to activate, responding to humanity's awakening. Ancient repositories, vast networks of quantum consciousness that had waited eons for this moment, stirred to life. The hegemony fleet commanders made their decision. One by one, their weapons powered down, the quantum water they had intended to use for destruction flowing freely into space, joining the growing network of consciousness and possibility. They're requesting to land, Marcus reported. Not just the hegemony ships, vessels from every spacefaring race in the galaxy are approaching Earth. They want to learn. Sarah smiled, feeling the quantum water pulse with potential around them. Then let's teach them, not just how to use quantum water, but how to understand it, how to become part of something greater than ourselves. The quantum network expanded, welcoming the alien vessels as they approached. Human quantum dancers began sharing their knowledge, showing how each species could find their own unique way to connect with this fundamental force of reality. On Earth's surface, in orbit, and across human colonies, the quantum water danced with new purpose. It was no longer a weapon to be feared or a tool to be mastered. It was a bridge between all conscious beings, a key to understanding the very nature of existence itself. "Captain," Elena called out, her voice filled with excitement. "The quantum field is stabilizing at a new frequency. The merged consciousness of all these species, it's creating something new." Sarah watched as the quantum water around Earth formed into a vast, shimmering sphere of pure possibility. Humanity had done more than survive an alien weapon or revolutionize its use. They had helped the universe remember something it had forgotten, that the greatest power comes not from destruction, but from connection. The galaxy would never be the same. The age of quantum water weapons was over. A new era was beginning, one of exploration, understanding, and harmony between all species. And humanity, the water dancers who had shown the way, would help guide the galaxy into this brighter future. As the quantum sphere pulsed with the combined consciousness of 1,000 worlds, Sarah Chen smiled. From that first touch of quantum water on Europa's icy surface to this moment of universal awakening, humanity had proven something profound. That even the deadliest weapon could become a force for life, that fear could be transformed into hope, and that the future belonged to those who dared to understand rather than destroy. The quantum water danced on, carrying the dreams of countless species into a future bright with possibility.